In my previous life, I had my moment to shine. Immediately after graduation, my university recommended me for a position at Sterling. I quickly rose to the general manager role, and Mr. and Mrs. Sterling even adopted me as their foster daughter. The next time I opened my eyes, I had been reborn, back to before graduation. This time, my roommate Jessica snatched the recommendation form from me. "Evans, I'm willing to intern at Sterling." She looked at me with a determined expression, and only then did I realize she had also been reborn. But what she didn't know was that I was desperate for someone to take my place. "Grace, Evans is calling you. What are you thinking about?" It wasn't until my deskmate's voice reached my ears that I finally looked up, realizing the truth of my rebirth. The calendar on the wall showed May 5th. Everything was still possible, perfectly on time. I let out a long breath and saw Evans standing at the podium, looking at me with an inquiring gaze. "Grace, you're the top student in our class. This internship spot at Sterling rightfully belongs to you. If the internship goes well, you can join the company directly after graduation. Come up and get the form." Glancing at the application form, I clenched my fist and instinctively shook my head. "Evans, I think." Before I could finish, the classroom door suddenly burst open, and my roommate Jessica's voice rang out, "Evans, I'm willing to intern at Sterling." She ran in, breathless, and continued, "Evans, my grades are no worse than Grace's. You can't play favorites." Evans looked puzzled. "Jessica, didn't you take a leave of absence today? Why are you suddenly here in class?" "I feel much better after taking my medicine and can attend class normally." "Evans, please give this spot to me. I was just thinking about how to decline, and now someone was willing to take my place. I couldn't have asked for more." Evans looked at us, a troubled expression on his face. I smiled. "Evans, let Jessica have T's spot. I'm confident I can find an equally good job with my own abilities." Seeing me say this, Jessica snatched the recommendation form from Evans's hand. "Evans, don't worry, I'll work hard during my internship and strive to get an offer from Sterling." Seeing this, Evans said nothing more and turned to leave. Jessica stood on the platform, chin raised, looking at me as if to gloat. She walked up to me, arrogant. "Grace, I don't know whether to thank you or call you an idiot. Do you know what it means to intern at Sterling? It means I could become a full-time employee, get promoted, or even be adopted as a foster daughter by Mr. and Mrs. Sterling. I'll be the heir to Sterling in the future. You're truly foolish and overly confident, actually believing you could get into a big company like this based on your own abilities? Too bad for you. This time, this good fortune is mine. Heaven has eyes." At her words, my gaze met Jessica's. So, she had been reborn too. Otherwise, why would she suddenly try to snatch this spot? And how would she know about my promotion, rise, and even being adopted as a foster daughter by Mr. and Mrs. Sterling in my previous life? I feigned ignorance. "It's fine, an internship spot doesn't prove anything. I was actually planning on pursuing a government career anyway, and I didn't really want to go to Sterling." Jessica let out a scoff. "Short-sighted. Can pursuing a government career even compare to joining Sterling? You deserve to struggle your entire life." She said that and then left. My roommate couldn't help but ask me, "Grace, are you crazy? How could you just let such a good opportunity go to her? Look how smug she is. She's always trying to antagonize you, always trying to one-up you. Now look, her ego would be through the roof." I brushed it off. "It's fine. There's no such thing as a lucky break, and I wasn't that keen on going to Sterling anyway." My roommate continued to sigh repeatedly, but my thoughts drifted far away. If Thin GS really turned out the way everyone thought, becoming a full-time employee and getting promoted, then yes, the future would be limitless. But what if, right from the internship recommendation, it was all an elaborate hoax? It was a shame Jessica only saw the glamour of my previous life and had no idea about the treachery and darkness within. I remembered my tragic end, framed and manipulated, then ultimately pushed from the rooftop by the very perpetrators. I was just grateful for this chance to be reborn, to start over and change my destiny. Back at the dorm, Jessica was packing her luggage. Seeing me, she laughed even more unrestrainedly. "Grace, Evans just informed me. I'm starting my internship at Sterling next week. It's a month-long internship, and if it goes well, I can join the company directly after I get my diploma. This incredible stroke of luck has finally fallen upon me." My expression remained unchanged. "Congratulations, then." Jessica rolled her eyes. Don't pretend to be so noble. You really wanted this spot, didn't you? Otherwise, in your previous life, realizing she had let something slip, Jessica's words abruptly stopped. I deliberately asked, previous life? What are you talking about? Have you been reading too many novels lately? Jessica sneered. Mind your own business. In short, this time, it's my moment to shine. You can beg all you want, but you won't get it. After saying that, she went back to packing her things, humming a tune and ignoring me. Staring at her retreating back, I twitched the corner of my lips. Her moment to shine? Indeed, quite a moment to shine. I just wonder how long it'll last. That day, my roommate and I went out for dinner. When we returned to the dorm, we found Jessica had come back. Dressed impeccably, she threw a document at us the moment she saw us. Grace, open your eyes wide and take a good look. I didn't bother. I already knew what it was without looking. Calculating the time, Jessica must have gotten her full-time position early. Just like me in my previous life. My roommate couldn't help but retort, so what if you're full-time? What's there to show off about? We don't even know if you can hold your ground at Sterling yet. Jessica, both angry and impatient, said, you're jealous, aren't you? I heard you haven't even found a job yet. How about this? I'll put in a good word for you at Sterling's cleaning department and get you a job there. I don't need it. Don't refuse so quickly. You probably don't know, but the cleaning staff at Sterling earn more than those second and third-rate office workers. And they don't just hire anyone, you're not even qualified. My roommate was so angry she wanted to hit her, but I stopped her. It's fine, we can take our time looking for a job. No rush. Jessica put away her full-time employment document. Look at you two, so ungrateful. If I were you, I'd be trying to butter me up. You deserve to struggle to find work. Seeing that we weren't speaking, she continued to herself, let me tell you, in less than 2 months, I should be promoted to manager. By then, I'll be their favorite with Mr. and Mrs. Sterling. You two better beg me properly, and maybe I'll be merciful enough to give you an internship opportunity. My roommate found it amusing. Jessica, what kind of daydream are you having? Promoted to manager? Do you really think you're exceptionally talented and brilliant enough to get promoted within 2 months of joining? You really have the nerve, cough, cough. I interrupted my roommate. Because I knew Jessica was right. She did have reason to boast now. Jessica gritted her teeth. You don't believe it, do you? Care to make a bet? What if I really get promoted to manager within 2 months? Then you'll beg for forgiveness. I quickly smoothed things over. We're all roommates, there's no need to be so extreme. You're an excellent student and exceptionally capable, you're bound to gain the leader's attention. What's a manug? Maybe you'll even get half of Sterling's shares someday. Then we'll definitely have to curry favor with you. My roommate looked unconvinced, and I secretly shook my head. However, these words clearly pleased Jessica. She smiled. At least someone knows what's good for them. My roommate couldn't help but whisper to me, you're still praising her? Her ego would be through the roof. Do you really think she can get promoted? I stopped smiling. Who knows? So, don't make bets with Jessica easily. If you really lose, she won't let you off easily. Though my roommate didn't understand, she reluctantly agreed. That evening, I carefully calculated the timeline. In my previous life, I also became a full-time employee after just 1 month of internship. About a month and a half after becoming full-time, I met Mr. and Mrs. Sterling at a meeting. They took a great liking to me, transferred me to work as their personal assistant, and then I was promoted to manager. The conspiracy truly began to unfold around that time, but unfortunately, in my previous life, I was blinded by fame and fortune and didn't realize any of it. I foolishly thought I was blessed with good fortune and had met benefactors. And now, Jessica was exactly like I was in my previous life. Thinking of this, I curved my lips. I was truly looking forward to what would happen next. Things unfolded exactly as I remembered. Soon after, we saw Jessica's social media feed, where she was boasting about her promotion to manager, dining with Mr. and Mrs. Sterling, and even visiting their large villa. My roommate was utterly astonished, exclaiming at the social media feed, no way, Jessica is too blessed with good fortune. She actually made it happen, how is that possible? In just over 2 months, she went from intern to manager? I said nothing, so as not to expose the truth of my rebirth. But the next second, my roommate laughed. Grace, I'm starting to wonder if Sterling is some kind of shell company? How could so? Mion like Jessica become a manager? This couldn't be some kind of scam or new type of fraud, could it? She muttered beside me, but my heart jolted. It truly takes an outsider's perspective to see the truth. Even a bystander could see something was off, but I, caught up in it, hadn't realized. I gave a forced smile. Maybe. There's no such thing as a lucky break in this world. We should just honestly look for jobs ourselves. That very evening, I surprisingly received a call from Jessica. On the other end, she was arrogant. Grace, I should thank you for my current achievements. Tell me, how do you want me to help you? Do you want me to arrange a job for you at the company? My tone was flat. No need. This is what you deserve. You're truly ungrateful. Don't you know Mr. and Mrs. Sterling adore me? They're already planning to adopt me as their foster daughter. You must know they don't have biological children, which means I'll be the heir to Sterling. Are you envious? There's nothing to envy. Everyone has their own destiny, that's all. Good luck to you. Jessica scoffed. I already have plenty of good luck, no need for more. I didn't speak. There was silence on the other end for 2 seconds, then she lowered her voice. Grace, aren't you curious why I suddenly snatched this internship spot from you? Now that you mention it, I am a little curious. Why? Jessica paused. Because I was reborn. I already knew about becoming a full-time employee, getting promoted, and even being adopted as a foster daughter. Otherwise, I wouldn't have fought you for it. I smiled, implying something deeper. If you're going to put it that way, I was reborn too. And I deliberately gave that spot to you. I was telling the truth, but Jessica wouldn't believe me. She let out a scoff. Grace, you're really stubborn. You're still joking at a time like this? You'd give up something this grand to me? If I hadn't fought for it myself, you'd be the one gloating right now. Seeing that In reply, she continued to herself, but it's already decided now. I'm the manager at Sterling, and I'm the one who's about to be adopted as a foster daughter. Even if you tried to fight for it now, it's too late. I just wish you find a job you like soon. The call ended, and I stared into the night, lost in thought. Opening my calendar, I marked the end of the month. This was the day I'd never forget, the beginning of my descent into hell, and would soon experience everything I had. The end of the month arrived in a flash. The moment I woke up that day, I turned on the news. Just as I expected, the headline was a report on Sterling's alleged tax evasion. Within an hour of its release, it had climbed to the top trending spot. In the comments, everyone was condemning Sterling, shocked that a supposedly charitable company would do such a thing. I scrolled casually and saw a few comments with clear underlying meanings. I heard Sterling recently got a new manager who was also adopted as a foster daughter by Mr. and Mrs. Sterling. Could there be some misunderstanding? It doesn't seem like the kind of thing they'd do. Feels like she was backstabbed by that foster daughter. Waiting for updates. Staring at these comments, I felt a chill run down my spine. So, the orchestrators behind the scenes had started this early. That's right, in my previous life, I was the target of these orchestrators' slander, the scapegoat for Sterling's tax evasion. But back then, I was still naive and completely unaware that I had fallen into their meticulously planned trap. Just like Jessica now, still immersed in her beautiful dream. On the day the news broke, Jessica posted on her social media feed. The content read, "Thank you for your concern, but everything at Sterling is perfectly normal. I've also asked my foster mother, and everything online is baseless nonsense. Don't listen to rumors or believe blindly. We will immediately sue those spreading false information." I narrowed my Yes. Jessica was even more foolish than I was. It seemed she was more suited to be this scapegoat than I was. The next day, Mr. and Mrs. Sterling released a statement. In the video, they righteously declared that there were absolutely no problems with the company and that they were willing to cooperate with the investigation to find the manipulators behind the scenes. Watching their hypocritical faces, I instantly felt a wave of nausea. If I hadn't already experienced it once, who could see through the malice behind their masks? But I knew this cooperation with the investigation was just another part of their scheme. The investigation results wouldn't show any problems at all. Their goals were far more extensive than that. As I expected, the next time I heard about Jessica, it was on the news. She stood between Mr. and Mrs. Sterling, smiling radiantly, holding a contract. The triumph in her eyes was unmistakable. And on the contract, a prominent crimson fingerprint stood out. The news headline read, "Due to advanced age and inability to oversee the company, Mr. and Mrs. Sterling officially resigned today." Sterling will be taken over by General Jessica. In my previous life, I, like Jessica, had signed the takeover agreement without hesitation, inheriting most of the assets and shares under Mr. and Mrs. Sterling's names. I originally thought I was truly blessed with good fortune and had been smugly pleased with myself. But I didn't know that it was this very contract that dragged me into the abyss. In the news video, Jessica was interviewed by the media, intimately holding on to Mr. and Mrs. Sterling's arms. Thank you to both directors for your recognition. I will definitely manage the company well. Mr. and Mrs. Sterling smiled, but a hint of cunning flickered in their eyes. With graduation approaching, Evans handed Jessica's diploma and other transcripts to me. Grace, you and Jessica share a dorm, right? Could you help bring these to her? She's probably busy at Sterling and doesn't even have time to come back to school. I intended to refuse, but Evans shook his head. You can also take a look at Sterling while you're there. Who knows, maybe you could work there someday too. Remember, make sure you hand it to her personally. It would be troublesome if they got lost. Left with no choice, I took a taxi to the Sterling building. Looking at this all too familiar place, I took a deep breath and, with practiced ease, found Jessica's office. She sat in her office chair, staring at me with a complex gaze. Grace, why are you so familiar with this place? I specifically asked my assistant to come down and meet you, but he said you knew the way. This should be your first time here, right? I didn't answer, just handed over the file bag. Evans asked me to bring these to you. I'm leaving. The next second, Jessica grabbed my arm, her voice certain. Grace, you were reborn too, weren't you? You've been pretending all along. Seeing that she had figured it out, I didn't hide it. Yes, so what? You're already a director. I won't threaten you. She smiled. Do you miss it? This position was originally yours, but in this life, it's mine. It seems heaven has eyes and knew you were destined to struggle your entire life, so it let us be reborn and allowed me to replace you. Jessica patted my shoulder. In your previous life, you were exposed for embezzling public funds and tax evasion, and you couldn't take the pressure and jumped from the building, right? TSK, you were truly an ungrateful backstabber. Your foster parents were so good to you, and yet you did something like that. At the mention of this, I gritted my teeth. If I'm an ungrateful backstabber, then you just go ahead and be a devoted daughter. She stopped me. Wait, I'm not finished. I don't understand, since you already knew your previous life's outcome, why didn't you try to change it? Instead, you willingly gave this spot to me? As long as you turn over a new leaf and start anew, countless riches and glory would still await you in this life. Why didn't you want it? Jessica seemed to realize something was off, her brow furrowed in deep thought. I smiled. That's my business, it has nothing to do with you. Hold on to your position firmly. I'm leaving. Until I closed the door and left, Jessica didn't say another word, instead watching me with a profound expression. After leaving Sterling, I glanced at the predatory building and couldn't help but think of Jessica again. Since she knew I had also been reborn, would she make any changes? As someone with an omniscient perspective, what should I do? But before I could figure it out, Jessica suddenly found me. When the door was knocked, I opened it without any guard. Because I completely didn't expect the person outside to be Jessica. She had lost all her usual glamour, appearing tired and disheveled. What are you doing here? The truth. Grace, tell me the truth. Jessica was very agitated, staring intently into my eyes. I feigned ignorance. What truth? What do you want to know? The truth about your death by jumping in your previous life, and about Sterling. Seeing her resolute gaze, I instantly understood that Jessica must have discovered something. I didn't speak. Just as I was about to close the door, a fruit knife, glinting silver, was thrust in. Jessica forced her way into the room, pointing the knife at me. Tell me, what exactly happened after you joined Sterling in your previous life? I took a deep breath. I never imagined Jessica could be so extreme. I had to buy myself some time. You suddenly showed up at my door. Did you find something? Yes, I saw my foster parents' emigration visas and tickets for the day after tomorrow in the study. So what? They've resigned, can't they travel abroad? No, it's not like that at all. I tried to subtly ask about it, and they were deliberately hiding it from me. Plus, half of their belongings are gone. They're clearly planning to migrate. Jessica's words jogged my memory. In my previous life, Mr. and Mrs. Sterling also used similar excuses to brush me off, then abandoned the company to me and vanished. Before I could react, a sudden coldness touched my neck. When I looked down, the fruit knife was already pressed against me. Jessica's hand trembled slightly. Grace, if you're not going to tell me the truth, I'll take you down with me. I closed my eyes. I had finally gotten a chance at rebirth. I couldn't let it end at Jessica's hands. All right, I'll tell you. Actually, right from that internship spot, it was a long-planned scheme by Mr. and Mrs. Sterling. They intentionally sought out a scapegoat to take the fall for their company's illegal activities. Unfortunately, in my previous life, that scapegoat was me. This life, it's you. Jessica furrowed her brow. So, those tax evasion issues at the company are real, and they handed the company over to me just so I'd take the blame? Yes. Her emotions were a bit out of control. So, I'll also end up committing suicide by jumping, won't I? I shook my head. Even the suicide by jumping was a lie. I was pushed from the rooftop by them. The suicide was just a false impression they created for the public. Jessica tightened her grip slightly, looking at me with hatred. Then why didn't you tell me in the first place? You deliberately harmed me. You wanted me to repeat your tragic fate. I'm going to kill you. A sharp pain spread across my neck. I quickly spoke up. Jessica, calm down. Even if I had told you the truth from the start, would you have believed me? You would still have snatched this spot without hesitation. She froze. I took the opportunity to knock the fruit knife from her hand and kicked it under the sofa. Jessica collapsed onto the floor, murmuring, "What should I do now? I need to leave the country too. I need to get out of here. I won't take the blame for them." I found it amusing. Do you think Mr. and Mrs. Sterling's influence would let you leave as you wish? What's more, the company is already in your name. They've already planned everything. If I'm not mistaken, in 3 days, all of Sterling's hidden dealings will be exposed, and you'll be their carefully arranged scapegoat. Grace, what's the point of these sarcastic remarks now? You knew everything but didn't tell me. You must be so pleased with yourself, aren't you? Even if they're going to kill me, I'll take you down first. I couldn't help but roll my eyes. If I had known Jessica was this kind of person, I should have left this problematic place sooner. Fortunately, Jessica was slender, and I could easily shake her off. Jessica looked resentful. Grace, my situation today is all thanks to you. Unless I die, I won't let you off the hook. I was speechless. Come on, if I were you, I'd go seek revenge on Mr. and Mrs. Sterling. What good would killing me do? Would it change your fate? Besides, I didn't force you to join Sterling, so can you really blame me? Jessica froze. How could I possibly kill them? Why shouldn't I blame you? If you had told me the truth earlier, maybe I would have. I respect others' destinies and don't interfere with karma, or else I'll face consequences myself. The path you're on today is one you chose yourself. You can only blame yourself. Jessica said nothing more, sitting motionless on the floor. After a long while, she finally looked up. Grace, what exactly should I do now? It's not too late, right? They haven't run away yet, and the company's issues haven't been exposed either. I paused. That depends on whether you can find a solution. Jessica stood up, wiped the tears from her face, and stared directly at me. I don't care. You have to help me find a solution. Otherwise, I'll drag you down with me. I was silent for a moment, and scenes from my previous life replayed before my eyes. Mr. and Mrs. Sterling had originally planned to flee the country, but I refused to confess and even discover their conspiracy, which made them want to kill me. Those two hypocritical faces smiled at me, then approached step by step, mocking my foolishness and naive fantasies, before taking my hand to press a fingerprint on the confession, and then viciously pushing me from the rooftop. That crushing pain of hitting the ground was something I would never forget. If the scapegoat wasn't me, it would be Jessica. Even if it wasn't Jessica, it would be another innocent person. Even though Jessica always antagonized and provoked me, she didn't deserve to be framed by others. People like Mr. and Mrs. Sterling should be held accountable for their actions. Jessica was still staring at me. I took 2 steps closer and leaned into her ear. She looked up. Grace, will this really work? Do you have any other better methods? Then I'll listen to you. Late at night, Jessica's emotions finally stabilized, and then she left my place. Looking at the night outside the window, I sighed. Through another life, I still couldn't stand idly by. The next day, news of Sterling's tax evasion and cooking the books suddenly broke ahead of schedule, immediately causing a huge uproar. Mr. and Mrs. Sterling didn't even have time to leave the country before they were forced to undergo investigation and interviews, and were temporarily forbidden from leaving. In the news, the two acted convincingly, crying about their supposed ignorance in every word, then subtly pushing all the blame onto Jessica. And offered to cooperate with the police investigation, then was taken away by the police in front of all the Sterling employees. When she was taken away, I was standing downstairs at Sterling, watching it all from a distance. Jessica was taken willingly, because only this way could she avoid falling victim to Mr. and Mrs. Sterling's nefarious schemes. In my previous life, I absolutely refused to admit I did any of it, even going to great lengths to find evidence to prove my innocence. That's what enraged Mr. and Mrs. Sterling, leading them to fabricate the illusion of a suicide out of guilt. Watching the police car drive away, Mr. and Mrs. Sterling exchanged glances downstairs, filled with unease. I smiled. It seemed that in this life, the scene of Jessica committing suicide out of guilt wouldn't be enacted. I took out my phone and, relying on my memories from the previous life, called Mr. and Mrs. Sterling. Well, didn't you expect your carefully planned show to start early? These scandals were originally supposed to be exposed in a couple of days, weren't they? On the other end, they were clearly flustered. Who are you? How do you know all this? My tone was calm. Not only do I know this, but I also know you planned to kill Jessica and then create the illusion that she committed suicide out of guilt, didn't you? Too bad these scandals broke early. I'm afraid your tickets are useless now. Who are you? What do you want? Let's meet. All right, I'll send you the address shortly. If you don't come, I'll tell the police everything I know. I know everything you've done. After hanging up, I found a coffee shop in a busy area and sent them the time and address. Having known them from my previous life, I knew they would come. In this new life, I was going to personally ensure these two culprits were put behind bars. Sitting in the coffee shop booth, I tried hard to calm my emotions. After all, I was about to face the enemies who had sent me to my death. The privacy screen was pulled back, and I faced a familiar face. It was Arthur. He stared intently at my face for a few seconds. I don't seem to know you. What exactly do you want? I took a sip of coffee. That doesn't matter. It's enough that I know you. All right, I won't waste any more time talking. Name your price. Whatever it takes for you to stay quiet, we'll pay. Haha, Arthur, you're truly generous. You want me to keep quiet, about what? Are you afraid of what I know? He sneered. What do I have to be afraid of? Besides, what do you even know? My tone became a bit more serious. I know quite a lot. For example, you deliberately used Jessica as a scapegoat, but in reality, those cooked books for tax evasion were all altered by you long ago, weren't they? The reason you promoted Jessica so much and handed the company over to her was just so you could make a clean getaway, wasn't it? Nonsense. Do you have proof? Of course I don't have proof, but you do. If I'm not mistaken, those real tax records should be hidden in a safe within a secret compartment in the study, right? I looked into his eyes and slowly revealed the details. These were things they, the couple, had told me themselves just before I died in my previous life. But reborn into this life, I couldn't access that safe, nor did I know the password. Moreover, they had already pushed the blame onto Jessica, so the police wouldn't believe what I said. But I knew there was no mistake. Sure enough, the man opposite me visibly panicked. He pulled out a check. How do you know so much? Who exactly are you? Fill in any amount you want, just stay quiet. I took it. It seems Arthur is flustered. Everything I said wasn't false, was it? Now you're resorting to paying for silence. Let me tell you, while my temper is still good, you'd best take that check and leave, and never come back. Otherwise, once I leave this coffee shop, you might not be able to leave. Watching him, furious yet struggling to maintain control, I continued to provoke him. Oh, I'm so scared. You're not going to kill me to silence me, are you? Then I'd better call the police. Seeing me about to pull out my phone, he could no longer keep up the pretense. Young lady, you look young. I advise you to take the money and leave. If you dare call the police, I'll show you whose people arrive faster, mine or the police's. Don't think you're safe just because you chose a crowded coffee shop. I naturally knew he wouldn't come alone, but I wasn't afraid. 'Cause I had come fully prepared. Those recent exchanges were enough to prove his guilt, his attempt to bribe me, and even his threats. This was already sufficient. I casually moved my bag aside, revealing a phone that was live streaming. The number of viewers had already surpassed 6 figures. And everything that had just happened was being streamed live. The comments section was filled with exclamations of shock. I can't believe that foster daughter was just a scapegoat. How terrifying. Clearly guilty, trying to bribe the streamer. Aren't the police coming yet? Aren't ordinary people's lives worth anything? Just die like that? People like this should go to hell. I spoke loudly into the camera. Everyone, take a look. This is the charitable entrepreneur in our eyes. The man opposite me was completely stunned, clearly not expecting me to be live streaming the entire time. He instantly became enraged and lunged across the table to grab me. However, several burly men suddenly emerged from the adjacent booth and pinned him firmly against the table. I slowly stood up. Did you think I came alone? These are bodyguards I hired. Stop struggling. The police have also seen the live stream and are already at your house collecting evidence. Confess. He was still struggling, but the police arrived and took him away. Soon after, I saw the news. The report stated that when the police arrived at Mr. and Mrs. Sterling's home, Eleanor was destroying evidence, but some still remained. She resisted fiercely, refusing arrest, and ultimately jumped from a third-story window. She is currently fighting for her life in the hospital. Only then did I let out a long sigh of relief. Those two finally got what they deserved. A few days later, Jessica was also released. The first thing she did after getting out was to come find me. She hugged me, sobbing uncontrollably. Grace, I'm sorry. I was wrong before, but truly, thank you so much this time. If it weren't for you, I don't know what my fate would be right now. I twitched my lips. I wasn't exactly helping you. I was getting revenge for myself, after all, they're my real enemies. Jessica wiped her tears. You're my savior, my second parent. I'll definitely repay you. I pushed her away, my face expressionless. There's no need. I did it for myself. And I don't need repayment from someone who once held a knife to me. From now on, we go our separate ways. All right, then. But I still want to say I'm sorry. Before left, she spoke again. I heard from the police that the evidence found in the safe is real, and they're already investigating it. If I'm not mistaken, that couple will probably spend the rest of their lives behind bars. I nodded. That's for the best. Half a month later, the police announced the results of their investigation into Sterling, and Mr. and Mrs. Sterling confessed to their actions without dispute. After reading the news, I put down my phone. Just then, a new job notification popped up on my screen, my dream offer. I looked at the sunlight outside the window and smiled. This was the life I deserved. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments section. Feel free to share your opinions, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. See you next time.